What is justice? Is justice where you get raped and then you never get compensated for being raped by the court? You just have to live with it. In fact, you have to pay for all the therapy. And then the person who raped you, they get put into a box for a certain amount of time that you have to pay for through taxes to add insult to injury. Is that justice? Or is justice where you enter into a contract with someone and they screw you over and you need to spend 40 to 50 grand in legal fees just to sue the guy, and you are not allowed to recoup any of your legal fees in a huge number of states? And so you're out 40 or 50 grand out of what you should be. Is that justice? Now, you made this sort of argument that private arbiters would veer more toward impartiality rather than actual justice, and I don't really understand the dichotomy you're trying to make. But I would say no, not at all. Arbiters will reflect exactly the kind of judgment, method that the consumers themselves want. So I am person A and person B. We person A and person B, we enter into a contract and we agree ahead of time on the arbiter who will decide upon our contract issue if we have any kind of dispute in the contract. And so obviously, I would think, hey, I'm not sure we should agree upon an arbiter who is really wishy-washy and flip-flops and just votes for the guy who bribes him the most. Rather, I think I would like to choose the arbiter who always makes his judgments based on principles and has a really good reputation of basing his judgments on that, and will always judge in favor of the guy who got screwed over in the contract, rather than just takes bribes. And so, obviously, it would be up to me and person B to decide upon the arbiter, and I would only decide upon an arbiter who I know would rule in my favor, and if I get screwed over, and he would only decide upon an arbiter who he knows would rule in his favor if I decided to screw him over, and so we would mutually agree upon the arbiter that is that makes the kind of judgment that we want them to make. It's simple consumer demand. And in the case of crime in a private free market kind of system, in the case of crime, it would be much more up to insurance companies, I think. You would insure your house, you would insure your car against property damage and theft, and you would insure your body. You would insure yourself against being raped or stabbed or punched or assaulted or killed. And if any of these things may happen to you, then you are compensated by the insurance company. How about that? If you get raped, we'll pay you, 100 grand. How about that? You ever heard of that in the justice system? In the justice system? No, of course not. And so and of course it would be up to society to decide what would happen to the person who did the raping. And of course, society would decide upon what method by which to convict that person of by which to decide that person is indeed a rapist. That what do we think that we should have a 12-person jury that has to come to a unanimous decision, and so on and so forth. Once again, in a free market, it would be completely a matter of consumer demand. Whatever kind of system the consumers themselves wanted is exactly the system that you would have.